Hi everyone, welcome to the next video in this butterflies and bugs series. We have got one here to do. Now we've got quite similar colours going on so far, so I think we need to do something a little bit different for this one so that it breaks up all that similarity. I don't want to make it all just blue and brown. So let's come in and have a little look at this one. We've got a lot of detail in this one, so it's going to be a little bit interesting. I'm just trying to flatten my page, sorry. Now, I think I will start with the middle. I also find that a little bit easier, it sort of gets me going. I'm going to use cold grey because I've got a bit of an idea of colour and I think it will match better. So here is my cold grey 4 Polychromos pencils, the same as I've used for the rest. And we'll start with the head. Now these I think must be the eyes, so I'm going to avoid those. I'll probably do those black. I tend to always do eyes in black. There we go, and I want it a little bit dark on the edges. You could use a darker grey, but I think if I just layer it up, it'll probably do it for us. Now, I think I'll go darker in here. This diamond shape. Just lighten it towards the middle maybe a little bit. Yeah. And then I might keep these 3 the same. I'm going to use Johanna's marks as a guide, make it a little bit darker up here. And if it doesn't look dark enough, I'm going to use a darker one anyway for this bit. I might just add a bit there if I think it needs it. So I hope everyone's doing well today. Here it is a Sunday. I've lost track of the days of which these will go out. Let me have a quick look on my calendar, I can work it out. It's a Thursday, maybe, depending on whether they go out as I've scheduled them. I've been getting a little bit ahead, which has been quite useful because I've got a few other projects on the go as well. This is the Cold Grey 5. I've been making swatch charts and things like that a lot. Partly because I'm in the mood for them. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I really don't want to do swatching. And sometimes I do. And I sort of got mine organised and then realised there were loads of gaps where I think ones that I could potentially make that I hadn't. So I thought I would do a few more and they might be useful, hopefully, for people. So I am going to use this here, like I said I might, just to darken just where those lines are. Yes, I've been having fun doing those actually. I've been doing a few smaller ones for smaller pencil sets. This is black. I find that the comparison swatch charts, like the Prisma Poly one which I did for you, which is my most popular, was really quite time consuming because you've basically got 240 pencils to swatch, but you also have to match them up, you know, because it's a comparison swatch chart. I'm going to use the Cold Grey 5 for the little bits on the antenna. Yes, it takes time, whereas I've been doing a few easier ones which are just plain swatch charts. So basically, so I've got to grab my hanky. So basically you're just swatching out a colour, a pencil set, and I did one this morning which you would have seen ages ago for Ergosoft, and I did one before for the Crayola and things like that. So really nice simple ones which you may have done yourself. This is black. I'm going to do black on the tips of the wings. I always think it's quite nice on a butterfly, like this one up here. I think a bit of black. I don't know why, but a lot of butterflies seem to have black. So I'm just going to make this quite dark. On some of my butterflies I even do this in a pen, like a black fine liner. But I think pencil matches better with the rest of the pencil. I also find pencils a little bit easier to handle, just because that's what I'm used to. Anyway, so I've been doing all sorts of little charts for you. It just makes a change from colouring. Not that colouring ever bores me, but it gives you something a little bit different to have a look at that I think might be helpful. I'm going to go for pinks because it's a really different colour, and I did say I wanted to do something really different. I had thought about carmines, but they're a bit red, so if we go for pinky pinks, if we go I'm making no sense, then will be very different, and it won't look anything like a real butterfly, but I don't think that matters. So I'm going to start with a very light pink. This is the Pink Madder Lake. It is the lightest, I think, of the Polychromo pinks, although the light magenta is fairly light, but there are other pinks that match this one better, so I think that's why I picked it. So yes, Pink Madder Lake, and I'm going to just start here and put more colour towards the body. Now I've had a request for a few different pages now, and I have been working on some ideas. I haven't quite done them yet, but I am listening and trying to get down things that people have asked for. I sort of, you know, got really like, I want to finish this book and do lots from here, because everyone's very keen on it as well and liking, as far as I can tell, the videos from it. But I'm also like getting close to finishing it, so that's quite exciting for me to finish a book. I don't know, I think we're all different. Some people aren't like so interested in completing books, but for me, I get really excited by the idea of completing a book. So getting close makes me feel excited. I'm grabbing the fuchsia, just going to give it a sharpen. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. As soon as I finish it, here's the fuchsia, I will record a completed book flip through, and it's possible I would have already finished it by the time this goes out, but I will make sure that I do some videos from it, and it may be that the completed flip through comes, I'm going to do these edges darker, a bit lighter in the middle before all my tutorials go out, because I'm just anxious to show you, really, because I'm excited by having, you know, when it's finished. I always get so excited. It's lovely, and I like showing it to you, and I know those videos are really popular as well, which makes me excited as well, because I know that it's something that you want to see, or, you know, people generally want to see, so that's good. But I'm going to try and do a few more pages of videos from the book first, but I've got less than 20 pages left. I'm trying to work out where to put this. I think I'm going to put it here, so it's not many, as I can usually do 5 pages a day if I'm not recording. If I'm recording, it slows me down, but that's obvious, I guess that's fair, and it's okay, because it's nice to light purple pink share with you. I'm doing this large area here, so again I want it a bit darker near the body, but we'll probably put a little bit of shadowy colour in. I was going to name it, but I haven't decided yet. Probably a Payne's grey. It's usually quite good for shadows in there to help really emphasise that shadow. But if we layer it up here, it gives a little bit, but because the space is so small, we don't have much space to fade our colour. Those remaining bits I want in a slightly different colour. I'm just having a look at what I've got. I think the middle purple pink might be good, because it's the same sort of colour group, I think, similar, but it's darker, more of a purple than a pink, I think, but I think it'll work in here. Again, I'm going to try and fade it a little bit towards the middle, if I can. Let's just layer it up a little bit more on the edge. Now this to me looks a little bit ordinary, maybe, and we're gonna add some white pen like we have with all the others, and I think it's really going to make a big difference, but we'll do that in a bit. Getting a bit ahead of myself, but just sort of explaining what's going on in my head as I'm colouring, really. I'm sort of thinking this is a bit plain. So trying to, now this curly one, I want to try, I'm going to sharpen my really sharp. And what I want to try and do is to make it darker here, and here, and here, okay? And then see where we've got a loop. That centre bit I want to be the lightest, So it's a really small area to practice this on, so if it's too difficult, just plain colour. But I'm going to try to make it look a little bit lighter in the middle. And I don't know whether it would ever look like that on a butterfly's wing, but it's just a bit of a different way to approach it really. And gives a little bit of difference in the amount of colour, which I think, you know, it just makes it a little bit more interesting to look at. And I realise that I think butterflies are usually coloured to scare off birds. I think I'm right, I could be talking rubbish. I have noticed that we're quite pale down here, but we've got little dots. So what I'm going to do is grab the Pink Madder Lake and just go over this bit and just try and make sure I've got a decent amount of colour at the bottom, so that if I do, which I want to put some white here, it'll show up. These two dots I'm actually going to do in black. Here's my black. I think often on a butterfly these are supposed to look like eyes, as if it's a really big creature, rather than having these eyes which maybe don't look as big. I don't know. Okay, now I'm having a look. I want to do a little bit of shading. I am going to use the Payne's Grey, a little bit of shadow, I mean. So here's my little Payne's Grey. I need to find my new one, a replacement one if I've got one. Firstly, I'm going to go along the edge of the body. Just put a little bit here. Like that, and the same on the other side. Oops. Hang on, just move my pencils up the desk a little bit. Now I'm going to put one here, a bit here, where the wings would be overlapping. So we'd see a little bit of shadow from the top wing on the bottom wing. And I think also between our sections, so quite a bit here, here and here. And maybe also there, and I'm thinking perhaps a little bit on each side of the head, just a tad. Quite liking the idea of emphasising that too. I don't know why. Now, I was thinking the other day, I did all the first 4 videos in one little sitting, and that when I was editing this one here, I think the white lines are a little bit thick. So I'm not going to use my Jelly Roll 10 today. I'm going to go for the 8. It's still fairly big, but it's not quite as thick, and I think it might be a little bit better suited to these smaller designs. So that's what I'm going to use now. And I'm going to put some firstly on the black. I think it really stands out nicely on the black. So it's a really nice place to put it. And we'll put some on top of these black dots there. And you can see it really doesn't stand out anything like as much. But I'm going to put one here as well, and one here. I'm not going to do too much. It's very tempting to just sort of cover it all with dots, but need to be slightly restrained, I think. Maybe. I think perhaps that is enough. I'm very tempted to put some along here and here, around the edges of there, but I have to remember it's a butterfly, not a flower. And I think that is probably enough. So I think we'll do that. So that makes our page look a little bit different. Tomorrow we've got a bee or wasp. It'll be a bee, I think. And so the colours will be very different again. We'll be getting out our yellows. Eek, yellow. So I shall be brave. But for today, that is me. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a really lovely day. Yeah. Have some fun and some relaxing time. So thank you so much for watching. Please do like, subscribe and comment, and happy colouring.